are you responsible for the digital era in Jamaican music?
The question, if I'm responsible for the digital era
In Jamaica.
of
In Jamaican
of
in Jamaican music.
in Jamaican music, if I'm responsible for digital um, in Jamaican music, no, I would not. That's I've never heard that said of me or I thought of myself. I know I introduce a lot of things to the digital stuff. When I lived in New York and worked at Samash Music, which was only 5 stores then in few boroughs of New York and one in 4 and one in New Jersey. And I went to one to work. I brought my little daughter from Jamaica and it was Christmas time. And I was a hungry musician. You know, I was doing all of this great work. I was still hungry every day. And when I had my wife, as I say then, and I brought my daughter up, and Christmas was coming and I see all this Christmas advertisement on the TV and I was living in a basement flat. And I feel really degrading living in a basement flat. I would never live in a basement flat. I never knew anything about it. I'd feel really degraded because there was like 10 stories and I live in the basement. And I think everybody upstairs, they might use the toilet, they might do this and do that, everything come down. It's a come to me or pass me. I really feel like, I still feel like the Rastaman son, you know. And me remember saying I was a rebel soldier and everything. So I start feel away and my daughter watch this commercial. And then my wife would just look at me like so. And I just feel away. So I didn't even know if you want a job, what newspaper to look at. I buy the Daily News, look at it, and see, mark into M. I go right to M. I see music store wants somebody to work. And I beg a friend of mine who turned out to be a cousin of mine who was related to J.C. Lodge husband. They both have the same last name, O'Mealy, because J.C. Lodge's marriage name is O'Mealy, you know. Okay, her husband is Errol O'Mealy. So he's an artist, so one of the Bulwaki artists. So he brought me to White Plains, this long drive in the snow. And when I go up there, trust me, I see about 200 people line up in the store, long around the place, round around. I say, Clive, at the job, them are looking, okay? It's Samash. I'm say, oh, turn back. And him say, no, I'm not turn back. Anyway, me and him start quarreling in the car, and him say, nah, turn back. Him say, for going there for the job. So I say, all right, I'm going there, but I'm not going to join the line, you know. It's because I notice customers still going in, but the people who apply for jobs, you know, the long line, way down, way around, like 200 people. So I just walk going like a customer. and him park the car walk behind me. And when I go in, I touch all of the guitars. It's about 50 or more guitars. All of them was out of tune. They don't sound good. So I just run behind me on the guitars. And I go up to the guy who sell in the classical department, this, you know, all of the mixing board and the fancy stuff over the other side, and the speakers and all of the drum set. And some walk the guy here and him sell classical people. And while him sell, him interview. So while he's interviewing somebody, if somebody coming to buy something, him leave and say, excuse me, and he go, may I help you? So I just watch it about 2, 3, 4, 5 people, me hear what my question them say. And then we walk up to him and say, excuse me, and he say, yeah, may I help you? And me just ask him a question where me not knock him out. Him have to drop everybody's attention. Me just ask him for something. I never say these things, you know. I just say, could I have the score, the conductor score for the planets? The man say, sure. But the man look for me like, what is it? Can be sound Jamaican, that type of thing. I'm come ask the conductor score for the planets. You research what the planets is in classical music. But our song what goes na 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 na. It's from the planets too. It's a movement from Mars, I think. No, this is an artist. It's written by a composer named Gustav Holst, a German composer. I think it was written in 1908 or something like that. It's the first time a large orchestra with 100 people perform. So I walk in the store with all of these, bully for these white people, and look for a job. And this when I want to interview and I sell. I just got him asking for that. Him just stop and just say, hey. And him go into a place like with key, and open the thing and come out with this big thing. This stick and this stick and put it down in front of me at the desk and him say, I'm gonna look at it and I'm walk away. I'm gonna say, excuse me, I would like do you have the Boozy and Arcs edition? And him say, oh, you studied in England. I would say, yes, too. And him say, oh, so I know what I did, you know. He couldn't leave me because he was spend the rest of the day trying to convince me to buy this one. And to look at him and say, listen, I don't like American edition of stuff. America simplify stuff. I started to tell him one thing when the man did try to convince me to even hope me and look at me and say no. Then I said to him, how long would it take to order a copy? He said about 2 weeks or so. I said, how much it costs? But he never interested in money. He want me to just look into that one. You know what I'm saying? So I would highlight his attention. So he would ask me to look. So I just hope me and start look and say, And then I interview 2 people. So when I time him come back to him and say, what's going on there? I say, oh, you want a job too? I say, maybe. Me say, and him say, he said to me, me said to him, yeah, maybe. I said, tell you what, since I've been here, I hear you ask about 5 or 10 people interview them. Ask me about anything in the store. I'm sorry, I did that. I said, ask me about anything in the store. And him say, oh, you're a genius. And him asked me, and up to now I can't remember what it is, but I know the name right now. Him asked me something. Say, for example, he say, what's a kazoozie? And walk away. And I say, kazoozie. And him come and say, hey, excuse me, there's nothing named kazoozie. And him say, if you had known that you'd be a genius. Anyway, he told me what it was and asked me if I could work. No. And when I could work, I said no. And he said, come tomorrow morning. And the rest is history. And I used that relationship with Samash to introduce a bungler thing into the Jamaican music, including introducing Sly Dunbar to syndromes, when he play and all of them something there. It's a whole book to explain all that.
Well, let me hear you say mountain, mountain.